Let's see if
It's kind of really
late. Let's see. There's a preview. We live? Can you guys see us?
It just popped up. It said Jaguars OTAs, blah, blah, blah. So.
All right. Hey, can y'all see us? Can y'all hear us? What's going on here? Say something. All right. If I click on here. Oh, it's us.
Is that us?
Just goofing around. All right, cool. We out here, guys. All right, what's up, J Ran? What's up, J Dang? They're calling me out on my BS, saying late. I'm sorry. Shit happens. And like Lil Wayne says, shit happens, and since I'm the shit, I'm who it happened to.
Weren't we like 30 minutes late that one live stream we did?
Yeah, I forget.
So, I mean, this is actually not bad at all.
I always like to say around 7 o'clock. That's why I said within the hour on Twitter.
Don't set the expectation of exact time for people to call you out and be like...
Well, on Twitter I was right. I said within the hour.
You did, and this was within the hour. So.
But hell yeah. All right, what's going on, everybody? Get some quick shout-outs. Completely Sorry is his username. What's going on, man? Alex Sports said, what's up, UCF? What's up, Dalton? What's up, your boy Braceface? We got Jonta, Andrew, Bick. We got all kinds of people up in here.
That's
Alina's dad.
It's a decent amount of people.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? First of all, I'd like to welcome my guest in here. I like to call him James Boozes, but to you guys, he's Coach. What's going on, man?
How you doing, buddy?
You can definitely hit him up on Twitter right down below, man. I put his links down there. I put all my social media too, in case you guys aren't already following me. If you're not already following me, that's a little fucked up, but okay. But hey, man. We got Jaguars OTAs going on right now, so I guess one big storyline we have to go ahead and discuss is Nick Foles. I guess has been really impressing. People really liking the spirals.
Spirals.
It's all about the spirals.
We have a quarterback that can throw a football.
Dude, I remember that was like the main takeaway. Everyone's like, I really like seeing him throw spirals. I like this, and I'm like, guys, is this how low our standards have gotten where we get excited about these spirals and OTAs?
Apparently.
Well, it's always funny because they always show, because you can't see everything that's going on in OTA, so they always show the slow motion balls with the with the music in the back, and Blake's was always just like frisbeeing up there, yeah, and then with the guy catching it at the end. But now I guess there's a little bit of spiral under it, so that's always good.
Honestly, the spiral isn't that, as long as it's a catchable ball.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I wonder. Because I guess how Winoga has never played wide receiver at the NFL level. In case you guys haven't known, let that be on the record. But I would think that, I mean, if you're catching wobbly balls, I imagine they're a little bit harder to catch.
Just a little bit.
Last year we had the highest drop rate in the NFL.
That we did.
And probably helped out a little bit that the balls weren't all that pretty. But yeah, I mean Nick Foles, everything. By all accounts, man, he's looking really good out there, and we kind of signed him, and then we kind of threw it under the rug and didn't really talk about him because we focused on the draft. But you really got to wonder how good can this team really be with Nick Foles playing at his best.
That's an interesting question, just simply because we've seen Nick Foles at a very high level before with the Eagles on two different occasions. Obviously, he had that phenomenal season, 2013, 2012, somewhere around there with Chip Kelly. And a phenomenal offense, and that was great. And then he kind of dropped off when he went to L.A. And granted, that was behind a Jeff Fisher team, which is Jeff Fisher's the notorious quarterback killer. And then he's back up in Kansas City before he goes back to Philly. So, if we get anything like he performed in Philly, I think it could be a phenomenal team. I mean, the quarterback can make a huge difference. So, very, very intrigued to see how this plays out.
Yeah, because right now he's really at his prime in his career. I mean, apparently his footwork's the best it's been. He's got to be more confident than he's ever been. I mean, when he went over to the Rams, they didn't trade him for him to be the franchise savior. I mean, if you remember that trade, they gave away Sam Bradford, and then by receiving Nick Foles, they gained some draft capital. So it was in the perception that the Eagles were getting the better quarterback. Then he came over there, obviously quarterback killer type of stuff. Then he goes over to the Chiefs. He was thinking about retiring. Then he went over to the Chiefs a bit, play back under Andy Reid, and said, "Hey man, we'd love to have you back." And then he goes there, and obviously he gets signed to the Eagles. And then kind of wrote history over there.
Yeah.
I mean, I always kind of bandwagon for him in the playoffs just because I always thought that I just like the story, man. I just always like the underdog story, and He's definitely a cool and unique situation. But yeah, with him though, like I guess right now he's working along his footwork, which is kind of interesting to me because he's got like a size 16 foot.
Yeah, he's got a huge foot. It's weird.
Yeah,
and he's not that tall of a guy. I think he's 6'3", 6'4".
I think he's 6'5". I think he's technically listed at 6'6", but a lot of people say that he looks smaller than that. Yeah, look up his official height, but it kind of warmed me up a little bit seeing different guys get like Dede Westbrook posted a picture of him with like Nick Foles' hand or arm over his shoulder. Then I see Leonard Fournette posting up pics with him, and it's a pretty awesome situation. But go ahead and get some shout outs. Big says, do we have money to spend on extra players right now? I mean, they have some money. How tall did it say?
6'5".
6'5". Okay.
Yeah, that's his actual height.
Yeah.
It looks like he's barely 6'5".
Yeah, there's like I see 6'5", 6'6" out there, but I mean he's pretty tall dude, 6.5 feet.
Honestly, what we always say in football, you always give a player an extra 2 inches.
Yeah,
and that's a good recruiting tactic.
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray. When people come like to practice and they're like, hey, how tall is that kid? If he's 6'3", you say 6'5".
Yeah.
If he's 5'11", you say 6'1", and I think everyone knows that. It's kind of like that. It's an easy way to. A little fib. They don't know until they pull up the measure.
Yeah, they like to help the quarterbacks out a little bit. But David Bryan says he projects Nick Foles to throw 35 touchdowns. Wow. That was his number. That was Blake's number during garbage time 2015, right?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
With Allen Hurns at his peak, Allen Hurnsness, and Allen Robinson having a great year. So
yeah. But shout out to C Skidsy Man for the $10 donations. He has. Thank you for all that you do, Duval. Dude, love it.
Oh, which I wanted to say this in the beginning, but congratulations on 1 million views and 6K followers.
Oh yeah, dude, I hit 1 million views. Isn't that crazy?
That's great. That's awesome.
Just talking about Jaguar stuff, man. And people say, "Oh, I didn't know there were Jaguar fans out there."
Apparently, 1 million people watch videos. So.
Dude, I was at this bar a couple weeks ago, and this chick was telling me, she goes, I just feel like Jacksonville's the place that players go when they like want to retire, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, name one player that's done that. She goes, well, I can't really name him, but it's just that place that comes to mind where players go when they want to retire. I'm like, that makes no sense.
I'm trying to think. There was one player. Wasn't that one cornerback who said that? Prince Amukamara? Was it Amukamara?
No, there was that guy. I think was it Aaron Ross? I think his name was.
Maybe was it Ross?
It was like his
Ross came
his
from the
wife,
Giants, right? Well,
yeah,
they both came from the Giants.
Yeah, his wife was a Olympian. I remember.
Yes. So yeah, I do remember that there was because that's 2 Giants cornerbacks that we signed, but yeah, I remember when Ross. I think it was Ross that said that, and he came out and he was like, "That was a nice 1 year vacation."
Yeah, that was some bullshit, but that was back when I think that was when Mike Mularkey was the coach.
Yeah,
and
the worst season in Jacksonville history.
Yeah, it was just our team was constructed horribly because we had Gene Smith under helm, and the guy just. He wanted to be the guy. He just outdone himself. He'd been like, oh, I should go out here and get these guys from nobody schools, and also when they look good, they can turn into something.
Good old Gene Smith.
Yeah, good old Gene Smith. But hey, J Rand just donated $2. Said choose one: Jag sign Gerald McCoy or Eric Berry. I'll let you go first.
Ooh, that's tough. I would go Eric Berry just because of the unknown of Jared Wilson and what if he can sustain successful play over the course of 16 games. Yeah. I have a lot of faith in him. And I would Gerald McCoy's a great player, but I think Eric Berry would go for a lower price, and Gerald McCoy is going to have a higher premium. And we also have, granted we have an unknown in Telvin Smith too, but we have such a, defensive line is stacked. I'd prefer secondary backup.
I would honestly, if I'm getting him on the same contract, same 1 year prove it deal, I'm gonna have to go Joe McCoy.
Oh, if it was the same price, absolutely. Joe McCoy is a monster.
I love my big guys. It's always good having the big guys in there, and obviously you got to have Saxonville alive, man. And one thing I look at with the safety position, a lot of people are just freaking out that Jared Wilson's our safety, but a couple things. First of all. Your roster, it can't be perfect. No. It can only be perfect if you're drafting with 100%, if you're basically hitting on all your top 4 or 5 round guys.
Every year.
Yeah, and you're
for 5 years.
Yeah, and you're getting them to fill in perfectly. We're in a situation right now where we couldn't afford Deshaun Gibson. Deshaun Gibson was like, I think we saved like $9 million off the cap.
It was a big cap relief.
Yeah, it was a no doubter on that one. And if we go into the preseason and say, okay, this safety position is not where it needs to be, there are good safeties available. Mm-hmm. I mean, one guy that comes to mind, not only Eric Berry but also Trey Boston.
Yeah,
he was a Chargers guy. Like he was a good player, and there's a couple other pretty good name safeties that are available. So I'm really not too worried about that. But
I think it's a good question right here that Duval Bam said. What do you think we're missing as a team?
That's
a good question.
One glaring thing that we're kind of missing, and I remember last year I kind of forced the issue saying this guy was going to be that player, but I got to realize that look, this year we don't have, and that's like a number one wide receiver.
Yeah,
we don't have a true. I mean, we can sit here and say, oh, DJ Chark's going to be that guy, or every year you bring in that wide receiver that's been underproductive their whole entire career, and all of a sudden they act like they're going to come to our team and all of a sudden change things. That's like Chris Conley this year.
Yeah,
like Chris Conley, I mean, if there was anywhere where he had a great opportunity, I mean, it was at the Chiefs. I mean, he had Patrick Mahomes, he had a pass-happy offense, he had everything set out. Like, I don't think he's just going to come over here and be able to be the franchise savior. But really, if I were to point to the number one position, I guess that we're missing, I would definitely say it's that, like a premium number one wide receiver.
Agreed.
How about yourself?
I think premium wide receiver is a big one. I'm nervous going in with tight end right now. I know that we drafted that super athletic, great kid from was it San Diego State?
Yeah, Oliver.
Yeah,
Josh Oliver.
Josh Oliver could be a stud. I mean, I watched his film, and he was fun to watch, and he had no offensive line blocking for the quarterback, and the quarterback was just god-awful. So, he was really working with pennies, if anything. But the fact that we don't really have a whole lot at that position does make me a little nervous, especially the only reason I'm nervous about it is because Nick Foles truly loves his tight ends.
Yeah.
When you watch him play, he's always had a really solid end of. I mean, he had Brent Selleck before he left Philadelphia. He comes back, and then he's got Zach Ertz and that one kid, Goddard from
Goddard. Yeah.
Goddard. I mean,
he was from North Dakota State or South Dakota State.
Yeah. I mean, you got those two great. I mean, he's had tight ends, basically everywhere he's gone, and been successful anyway. So I'm hoping that we can do so. And Josh DeFilippo likes tight ends as well. He's all his passing systems have had tight end as one of the featured pass catchers. So we'll definitely. I'm intrigued to see how that plays out because usually a rookie tight end doesn't perform phenomenally because you look at any of them, they've always been kind of maybe I'd say Jeremy Shockey I think had a really good rookie season, but other than that they're. And
I think another thing that kind of worries me is the weak side linebacker spot.
Yeah.
Because we have no idea what's going on there right now. I mean, obviously we brought in Quincy Williams in the third round from Murray State, but other than that, I mean, I think we have this guy named like DJ Alexander playing there right now who's been around the league a bunch, and just, man, it's tricky. But I honestly think I have a feeling that Telvin Smith's going to come back this year.
You think so?
I think so, just because I think right now, because if he still wasn't communicating with the team, but he at the same time he wasn't going to OTAs, and we expected to play in this off season, this season, then I think he would have I think it would have been he would have been in the headlines a lot, I should say. But right now he's basically saying I'm not going to play this year. Now he's totally rid of the conversation. He's an afterthought right now when it comes to OTA stuff. But I have a feeling. I mean, we're 2 months removed from when the preseason will start. We're almost 3 months away from the season. I think once training camp rolls around, I have a feeling that he's going to be back.
We'll see. I was very disappointed in our fan base and their reaction to all that was going on. If someone's really got something going on in their personal life, it is what it is. Just kind of let it be. Let him figure out his life. I mean, you can't give yourself professionally to anything if you're going through personal stuff.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, whether let alone an entertainment or a professional sport, you can't dedicate your time like that if you got family stuff going on. So I wish him the best and hope he can get back to us as soon as possible. But we'll see how that plays out.
Quick shout out to the Who 123 for the $2 holla. Best Jags channel. Still miss the Orlando Apollos. Yeah. You're talking to 2 season ticket holders over here.
How many bankrupt? Have you gotten all the bankruptcy letters?
Yeah, dude. I've been getting
3 or 4.
I freaked out at first, and I haven't told you guys this, but I got this first class letter in the mail.
Yep.
You know, it's not folded. It's like the size of like
it's like
you
a
know,
legal
paper.
document paper
Yeah,
thing.
and-
I thought I was getting subpoenaed.
Yeah, it was first class mail from like the bankruptcy's court of like San Antonio, and I'm sitting here thinking that somebody stole my identity and like killed my credit score and like something like that happens, and I open it up and like all these papers, and I'm like, what is this saying? And like on one paper it says like AAF properties, AAF equipment, just all this AAF stuff, and then it said something about Eversol and Eversol Sports. I'm like, oh, this is an AAF thing.
Yeah, but I mean, the first thing I saw had to do with bankruptcy, and I panicked because I was like, am I bankrupt and I didn't even know it?
Yeah.
Like, am I what? And then I saw that, and honestly, I threw out a bunch of papers, and I have this one paper that's talking about the things that we need to do to get our money back, and I was like, oh, maybe I should have all the other stuff too. So we'll see how that.
Can we
plays
get
out.
our money back?
I don't know. Maybe.
I haven't even like it's all
like
too legal for me. I need a lawyer. I need a legal guy on the channel to hit me up. So
yeah, if anybody is a lawyer and wants to give us legal advice on how to get our money back from the AAF, please do.
Even though I think you invested a little money.
I had 3 season tickets. I had one for me and my wife and my best friend.
Where were your? Because I literally bought 2 seats at the cheapest rate.
Mine were like $110 or something like that. They weren't super expensive, so I mean, for the whole season. So I'm lost out on like maybe like $100 or something.
Yeah, see, I bought the season tickets we bought were like $75 each. So
That's
it was
not
like it was nothing. Like I'm not really.
I should have gotten
those
those please because the seats were open no matter where you
Oh,
went.
dude, I got those and I went literally to the 50-yard line chair backs and I was just chilling.
Yeah. I would say I will be. Show me your Nathaniel Legendary fan. Show me your legal. Show me like that you passed the bar, and I will happily hire you to get my money back, and I'll let you keep the money. It's on principle. You can keep the money.
Wow, you're just gonna give him the money like that?
I'll give him the money if he gets
That's
it.
100% commish, dude. 100% I like that.
commission, as long as he shows me he passes the bar and can represent me.
I like that. Tyler Pearson going back to Telvin Smith. He thinks that he will be back by training camp. Yeah, I just feel like with Telvin, like I just feel like he does have some personal stuff going on right now, and I think he just wants to take a step away and focus on that, and then get out of the headlines and stuff like that because he was big time in the Jaguars headlines, and then he did that weird Instagram Live thing. He's the one player I feel like that likes Instagram more than Twitter.
I agree.
He's going on Instagram Live essentially saying, "Oh, I'm gonna play this year," or he says, "I'm Duval till I die. I'm Duval forever. I'm not going anywhere." And then like a few days later says, "I'm not playing."
Yep.
It's like,
okay. Switch.
Yeah, it was just weird. I've never seen any player do that before.
So someone also asked, any chance that we bring in a wide receiver like Dez Bryant?
I don't think we're gonna be.
I don't think Dez Bryant.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be doing anything at wide receiver unless there's like an injury. And if there's an injury, I don't think they're gonna bring in like any kind of big name like Michael Crabtree or something like that. Like I think they'd probably take in a guy that's that's kind of young that could develop into something. I don't think. And I've never been a huge fan of Dez, especially right now because he was slow after 2017, and then 2018 in his first practice he like tore his Achilles. Like how slow can he be after that? Like I don't know.
No, I wouldn't take any. I mean, and people are underestimating that we do have veterans in the core. I mean, Marquise Lee has now been in the league for 5 years, so I mean he's a seasoned vet as any can be, and he's had an unfortunate career, but experience is everything. Teaching the kid, teaching those young guys to get in the room, how to study film, how to properly prepare like a professional. And I mean, Westbrook has been for a couple years now, and this is going to be Keelan Cole's 3rd year. This is going to be Chris Conley's 5th year. I mean, there's plenty of experience. I kind of really like some of the undrafted kids that we're bringing in.
Oh yeah, our boy Snelson.
Snelson's on the team.
Dredrick Snelson,
I will
baby.
say Dredrick Snelson is a sleeper roster make.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. I think he's very D.D. Westbrook esque.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think he can be a great slot receiver if we ever wanted to move D.D. outside.
Yeah, he's quick. He's got nice footwork, route running. Like he could be pretty good at that spot. And like most of our guys, I mean, we got some bigger receivers. DJ Chark's like 6'5", 200 pounds. Also, Chris Conley's pretty big. He's about the same size too.
Yeah,
so
he's tall, and I mean even Keelan Cole's over 6 foot. The only person that's really short on our team, I mean Marquise Lee is 6 foot. D.D. Westbrook's the only one. He's like 5'11".
Yeah.
So we have some pretty tall receivers.
I do. I love me some Westbrook. I don't think he's a wide receiver 1, but man, like I always tell people, man, if we could get like a number one wide receiver to be on the outside and then have D.D. Westbrook in the slot, without all this attention on him, man, I just feel like it'd be so dangerous.
It would be, absolutely.
Jeffrey asked, do you guys think Gardner Minshew will be a star? I don't. I think people are way too high on him, to be honest with you.
I really like Gardner Minshew. I really do. I love his personality. I don't think he will ever I don't think he can end up being a star. I don't.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think he has all the tools that are needed. But he's smart. He's going to be a hard worker. I think he'll be kind of like, I'm trying to think of a great comparison. Kind of like what Chad Henne was with us for a couple of years. So we all kind of liked him and we respected him. And he was on the sideline with his mustache making goofy faces and we thought he was hysterical. And then he gets in the game and we hate him because he can't do anything and he's an awful quarterback. And it's like, I think Minshew, not Minshew would ever be an awful quarterback, but I do think that I think he could be a decent backup. And you never know. I think it's all about the system.
Yeah, it's hard to really find a quarterback to compare him to. First of all, the guy is kind of short. I think he's only 5'11". He played in like a super air raid offense, so it's going to be a little different. That's one thing I need to look at. Like really go back on the Vikings film and really see like what kind of characteristics John DeFilippo had and what that offense looked like. But I know from years past, like it's been super similar, or it's been dissimilar to what Gardner Minshew's been doing as opposed to the Jaguars offense. But I think he's a fun personality. I hope he can be a star, but I mean, you can go down the list of 6th-round quarterbacks. I know Tom Brady was drafted there, but name some other quarterbacks that turned out to be great from that spot.
Few, unfortunately,
and there's just so few. There's so few franchise quarterbacks, really good quarterbacks out there.
No, 100%.
But yeah, Nick Howard says, "Hey UCF, I'm that guy that's the camo hat behind you." Oh yeah, got the camo. At first, I think it's like it's like a morph between like camo but also Jaguar print. You know what I mean? Like
that reminds me of like 1990s like desert camo, desert storm style.
Yeah, it does kind of look like that.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, I got my hats. I got my hats back here. I'm probably gonna maybe switch my background a little later on. I'm moving in about a month, so
where you going
we're not gonna be next door neighbors anymore. I'm moving over to Lake Mary.
Oh wow! Holy shit! Yeah, that's gonna be a drive.
Yeah.
All right.
So you might have to go a little bit more remote once you do these.
That's fine. It's not a hard drive. 417 North.
Yeah, 417 North. There you go. But also Kyle Rudolph for mentorship. Yeah, I know a lot of people are kind of throwing out Kyle Rudolph stuff like out there. I wouldn't mind Kyle Rudolph for a 5th-round pick, but I wouldn't give up anything higher than that.
No, he's going to be. I mean, he has a decent amount of money on his contract this year, so.
Yeah. But one thing that I did put in my title of this video is Leonard Fournette. We haven't really spoken about that yet. The guy seems like he's come back really focused. Like he had a bad 2018 season. I mean, and he doesn't need us to tell him that. He knows it himself. He holds himself to a higher standard than that. He did a lot of things this offseason when it comes to going out to Wyoming was where it was, and doing some training out there with a former coach. And hopefully he comes back, strong. Like what are your expectations for Fournette next year?
I expect him to play up to being a 4th overall pick. That's what I expect him to do.
Yeah.
He looks fit. He looks real. He's leaned out a bit. He looks like he's put on muscle. Which that's his thing. Is I feel like after his rookie year going into last year. I mean, I know people made comments about him looking a little out of shape and a little thicker, but I think him getting down to that 220 range and really padding up with some muscle will make him a little more durable. And my expectation is that I think he needs to perform at more than 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns to make the investment that we've put in him draft capital-wise worth it, and really that's going to be what determines if we're going to extend him, the extra option, if we're going to re-sign him, or if we're just going to let his ass go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping that he does well. Like, I know a lot of people gave me shit because I did. I talked a lot of shit about him during the season, just because it just drove me nuts the way, he immediately gets injured week 1, then he doesn't play a full game till like week 10, gets in a fight. I don't know. It just kind of drove me nuts. But at the same time, I mean, if you look at his college highlights, I mean, he's got all the ability in the world. It's all about where he is mentally, and I can't project where he is mentally. I think he's a good player. I think if he's the kind of guy that if he doesn't play well, and if he doesn't live up to his potential, I think it's more about his work ethic than the actual skill set that he has.
Yeah.
Because if you give a guy like, that's super dedicated to their craft and to be great, the kind of body that Leonard Fournette has, I mean, they're going to be great. And like I see guys like, you see Kamara out here doing workouts, like he's just standing on a medicine ball as people are throwing balls at him. He's just sitting there catching it. It's like wild, but I'm really hoping the best for Leonard Fournette, and I'm kind of in a wait and see with him. But yeah, some other we can go through some questions. Taylor says Fournette knows he doesn't need to do all the heavy lifting because of Foles being a good game manager. He'll do good this year. Yeah, and hopefully Foles is more than a game manager.
Yeah. We need that's the thing, is everyone was hoping that Blake could just be a game manager, because when he was kind of just a game manager, it got us to the AFC title game, but that's still not enough to beat a Tom Brady. And people keep, if we can just beat the Patriots. Look at what the Chiefs are about to become. I mean, I know they lost their running back, but I mean, Patrick Mahomes is the real deal, and that kind of terrifies me, because that's another rising quarterback out of that. I have a good feeling about the Chargers next year. I think the Chargers are going to have a good season, and I think Phillip Rivers is going to make he's got another couple years of being a good quarterback, and I think he can make a deep run. You got the whole storyline of Ben Roethlisberger possibly, on redemption, trying to prove that he wasn't, reliant on anybody else but himself. So there's a lot of competition. I mean, you got in our own division, you've got Deshaun Watson and Andrew Luck, and
so which division in the AFC do you think's the best? Let's do a power ranking. Let's do a power ranking right now. Okay.
Power ranking. So, so you start. If you were going to say, we're talking about just the AFC.
Yeah.
Who we think this is the best division. If I would rank them, I would say at the bottom, to be quite frank, in terms of what I think the strongest division is. I think the weakest division is the AFC East.
Yeah, AFC East definitely the weakest, but man, since they have the Patriots, it's like.
But I don't think the Patriots enough to carry the division, because when I think it's strength of division, I'm thinking the competitiveness between all the teams.
Yeah.
Like that a division can have 2 to 3 teams come out in the playoffs every year. So I would put the AFC East at the bottom, because I don't think the Dolphins are going to do anything this year. I don't think the Jets are going to do anything this year. I mean, I'm excited for the Jets. I mean, they have a good quarterback in. And is it
the Sam Darnold?
Darnold. I was about to
say
Sam
they
Bradford,
have all the second year guys.
and
Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen.
Yep, and then you also got you just took C.J. Mosley, who I think is one of the most underrated linebackers in the NFL.
Yeah.
And you have Le'Veon Bell that's going to help out Sam Darnold a lot. I don't think they have a good receiving core, but I think the AFC South is the weakest overall. The Bills, I think, are going to be awful, unfortunately. So the second I'd pick after the AFC East, I would go the AFC North.
Yeah.
Only because I think that the Browns have made a major gain, and I think the Browns might be competing with the Ravens for the crown. I think it'll be between those two teams. But I personally think the Steelers are going to take a step backwards, and I think the Bengals are so far off of being anything half decent. And even the Ravens, I think, are a borderline. I mean, they're moving away from Flacco. They're putting everything on a running quarterback in Lamar Jackson.
They're completely committed to an RPO type system.
Exactly. So, whether that's going to be successful or not, I mean, it was really good for when the Redskins did it with RG3. It worked out wonders for them, and they did great things. But I think RG3 was a better thrower than Lamar Jackson is. So I would put them there. I would say the AFC South is the second, because I think across the board, I think we're very competitive. I hate the Titans, and it might be biased for me to say that I think that they might be the weakest team now. I still put us above them. I think that the Texans are a very solidly built team. You've got pretty good players across the board. Lamar Miller is a good running back. You've got a good quarterback, Deshaun Watson. You've got a really good wide receiver. You've got a good defense. So I think that they're set up well. And then obviously the Colts seem to be the class. They've really built themselves up very well. That offensive line is scary. They have a good quarterback. I think he's a little overrated, but I think he's still good.
Yeah.
And then I would put the AFC West as the top.
Yeah, AFC West is scary out there with the Chargers and Chiefs. I mean, those are two of the top 3 teams in the NFL. But also, you never know with the Raiders. I mean, I don't know what the hell to expect out of those guys.
They're really weird because they could be great. I mean, I think their draft was interesting. We'll see how their draft plays out.
Their draft is weird. How they sent all the scouts home and they drafted Cleveland Farrell.
Yeah.
At number 3 or 4 or whatever they were. I was like, what the hell is that?
But and then the other team. So you got the Broncos are right. They're not a bad team. They're at that 8-8 mark. So I would definitely say that that's a division that could have two 8-8 teams and then 2 teams with 11, 12, 13 wins each.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they're the class of the AFC if you want to look at the strongest division, because that can really swing depending on how the quarterback situation in Denver plays out. If Joe Flacco somehow plays great, or maybe Drew Lock comes out slinging it and he's a rookie wonder and they escalate. If the Raiders can actually piece together, because I thought the Raiders were on the same trajectory as us. I thought the two of us were going to become the powers, and we'd be East versus West competing for, going to the Super Bowl every year, and then we've both kind of like taken a huge step back. And I think the Raiders have taken an even further step back, because like where we like righted the ship and started to get stability, the Raiders kept on like tanking and like getting rid of key pieces, and it didn't make any. I mean, they got rid of that Joseph player, their safety, that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
They got rid of Amari Cooper, and I just think
Khalil Mack, obviously.
Khalil Mack. I think that they're in a really weird spot where they're we'll see.
Yeah, see, I like your rankings. I know in the AFC East, one team that I feel like you kind of think the Jets are a sleeper. I kind of think the Bills are a little bit of a sleeper.
You do?
I actually think Josh Allen is kind of good from what I saw. I mean, he's kind of a gunslinger in a sense, but I think they did some good things around him when it comes to beefing up the O-line. They got a lot of different free agents in the building.
They spent a lot of money on the offensive line, which is always a good first step.
Yeah, and I think Sean McDermott is shown to actually be a pretty good coach. But yeah, I mean they're kind of a sleeper team for me. I also like AFC North. I mean, I think that the Bengals are pretty much out of it. I mean, I think that I respect what the Ravens did, because they actually went out and said, we have a mediocre quarterback, we're tired of this, and they went out and got a guy that I'm not going to say Lamar Jackson is great, but at least they're trying something new. Like the Bengals are throwing out Andy Dalton out there every year, and they're so like stuck to that. And I mean they've had like a number one wide receiver for like 10 years, and they can't do anything with it.
If there was one person I feel awful for, would be AJ Green, because he is. Personally, I think he is a borderline generational wide receiver. He's consistently great. He's always level-headed, never gets into trouble, produces 1,000-yard seasons every year, 10 touchdowns, close to 100 catches every year, and he's never, ever sniffed the idea of a championship, which is just really disappointing.
They never even had a playoff win.
I would trade a second-round pick for him right now. If Jacksonville could go get him, I would be completely thrilled if we got AJ Green.
Like, they haven't had a playoff victory, I don't think, since like 1990 or something like that. And they had those years that they were like going to the playoffs every year, and then the closest guy that came to winning it was AJ McCarron.
Yep. This is a stupid question, but is Marvin Lewis still the head coach there?
No, they finally
okay,
came. They got some kind of like quarterbacks or tight end coach or something like that. I forget where he came from. But yeah, they got some. I think he's a quarterbacks coach, but it was this weird hire, and the Marvin Lewis situation was weird because a couple years ago they were like, all right, after this season we're gonna go ahead and like part ways, and then like he started doing kind of good, and they're like, you know what, we're gonna bring him back.
Let's just keep riding this train into mediocrity.
Like, can you imagine? Like, I would be so frustrated as a Bengals fan.
Yep, I would too. I mean, I am really excited for the Browns.
Yeah,
I really love what that organization is doing. I've kind of used them as the crutch for years whenever anybody wanted to ride on us and just down talk us. Like, at least we're not the Browns. I mean, we could be a lot worse. The Browns haven't done anything ever, and look what they were there. I mean, when we went going into this, I said Baker Mayfield's going to be the best quarterback. I love Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I liked him too.
I thought he was going to be great. And people were always like, oh, he grabs his crutch and how he's so arrogant. I'm like, I love that in a quarterback. I love that he has that mentality of, I'm the best in the field, and there's no else to it. And then you already gave him a good receiver in, not in OBJ, but, oh God, I'm blanking. Came from the Dolphins. Jarvis Landry, yeah. So you get Landry, who's great, and then they drafted that kid from Florida.
Yeah, Callaway.
And those two pieces. Brashad Perryman had a couple decent games, and they
got Njoku at tight end. They're pretty stacked.
They're stacked on offense. If they can protect the quarterback, they're stacked.
And they got
in the
Kareem
backfield.
Hunt, those bastards.
Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, Duke Johnson. That's a loaded backfield. Like, they look phenomenal. And then you look at the defense. If you actually look at what they've done defensively, they've drafted very well. They have a key. The two key pieces you want on a good defense is you want a solid pass rusher, or actually an elite pass rusher, and an elite corner. And you can argue that they have one of each.
Yeah.
So I would put it down. The Browns are going to win 12 games this year.
12 games.
They're going to go 12-4. I say they're going to go 12-4.
Browns. Yep. See, I always like to look at them and project things, but I could see them still being the Browns and Because a lot of times you're not good until you actually prove you're good.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. Hugh Jackson was this. I remember last year when I was doing playoff predictions with my buddy Jet Central, I put the Browns in a wild card spot. And I was like, I feel stupid doing this because they have Hugh Jackson as their head coach, but I like the roster and I like what's going on. And then, they take away Hugh Jackson. Next thing you know, they're like actually winning games and shit.
Yeah, and you know what? I did this for the Jaguars for the last 15 years. Every year, I'm like, we're gonna go 11-5 every year. That was my prediction. We're gonna have a winning season. We're gonna go 10-6, and then we'd win 3 games. Then we'd win 4 games. So, I feel like making that prediction for the Browns is exactly the same. But we'll see. I'm excited. I think it should be a really fun year for them. So
yeah.
Browns fans got something really to look forward to this year.
Yeah. See, I'm out here always trying to keep it real, Jags fans. One thing I never really like to do is doing like predictions, whether it be like, season predictions. I think the Jaguars are going to have this record, or before a game, I think the Jaguars are going to lose. Because I'm always like, we're going to win. We're going to beat that ass. I don't give a shit. And then, I can never just sit here, unless we're really, really bad like we were this year, where I'm like, oh, who we got this week? Oh, we're playing at Houston week 17. Yeah, we're going to take an L,
The L is coming.
Yeah, just beating ourselves up about it. Mindset says, what's up, UCF? I think we are going to win 10 games. 10 games. I'll take that. Whatever gets us into the playoffs, man.
Yeah. I think if we get into the playoffs, we can definitely make some noise.
And I want one of those 10 wins to be against Tennessee.
Both of those.
Both of those.
All I want for Christmas is a Tennessee sweep.
If we went 6-0 AFC South record.
If we went 2-14, and the only team we beat was the Texans, I'd be okay with it. Like that would be the Titans. Yes. If that at the end of the year they ruined so much of my life, and I hate them so much, I will never forgive them for 99.
Yeah.
And I have friends that are Titan fans, and
you have friends that are Titans fans?
It's unfortunate.
Oh,
I was friends with them well before they realized that they were Titans fans. I found out in the worst ways.
Luckily, I don't really have anybody that I am close with that's a Titans fan, because man, I'd be having issues. That's like one of my. That's probably them and FSU are probably my 2 most hated teams.
USF. I can't stand
USF. Yeah, they've been going off on Twitter. They've
been getting frisky, and I got to put them back in their place. Remind them that they don't have anything.
They don't have a stadium. They don't have a
stadium. They don't have a trophy. They don't have a division.
They get like a percentage of their own game revenue.
They've never even won a divisional title.
Yeah.
And they think they can talk.
Yeah, our punters out here they put out that tweet. He's like, to be the best, you have to play the best. And he's like, why don't you win a division title first? That's something you can actually control. Christopher says, hey, UCF, I had a question for you. Sean McVay of the Rams was glorified at the end of last season, and he picked up Bortles. Does Bortles have a better place with that? He's definitely in a better place with McVay and the Rams.
That's a solid offensive line. Well, okay, let's go back, because we did talk about this pre-draft. Is it a better place at the offensive line? People have to remember, our offensive line was devastated last year. We had one starter that played last year. One. And that was A.J. Cann, who was arguably the weakest starter of the 5.
Yeah.
And we were down to our 3rd or 4th left tackle, our 3rd center. The offensive line is fine. It really is. If you look across the board, I'm really excited. Jawan Taylor in the 2nd round. I did not like him as a 7th pick, but in the 2nd round, all freaking day, I love that we went up and got him. You put him at right tackle. That's a cog at right tackle, I personally think, for 10 years. I think he could be a maybe not a Pro Bowler, but that borderline Pro Bowl selection, like a really great starter, opening rushing lanes on the right for the next 8 to 10 years. I really do believe that. I'm not a huge fan of Robinson at left tackle. I think he's more of a right tackle mold, but we are more of a running team, so we'll see how that plays out. But he's come back from injury. You have a former All-Pro at left guard. You've got a Pro Bowler, great, I think, one of the top 5 centers in the NFL when healthy in Linder. I think that right guard is our weakest spot. We resigned Cann because I thought it was the best option, but you take Will Richardson, who's kind of come back from injury, and see if you can work him inside. And I think that we have a really solid offensive line. So is he in a better place in LA? I really love their left tackle, Whitworth. I think.
Yeah, Andrew Whitworth.
He's phenomenal. He's getting old, but he's a great left tackle. They have a good left guard. I believe their right guard is actually pretty solid as well. So they have a good offensive line. Are they great? And I'll say this: you don't know because they dump the ball off so much. Yeah. It's such a quick offense that Goff is not taking. He's not doing 7-step drops. He's getting rid of the ball fairly quickly and dumping it off to, Gurley or doing quickly. He's got great receivers that he can just throw out on quick screen and let them do their thing. So to say that our offensive line is bad and Bortles in a better place is hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, his situation with the Rams is completely different because he's not the starting quarterback there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, over with the Jaguars, it's like, all right, he just led us to the AFC Championship game. He's our starting guy. And, over at the Rams, we're not even talking about him.
Yep,
you know what I mean?
at all.
He's strictly a backup, getting like $1 million this year. He got that, and Jaguars, I think, are paying him like $14 million this year or something like that.
Yeah, he's set for the rest of his life. I mean, he's good. He's going to be drinking his Bud Light Lime, eating tacos, and having a good time. And he's living his best life, and I'm completely okay with that.
Yeah, dude, L.A. Blake, that's interesting, man. He's been a Florida boy his whole life.
He has. It's weird.
It should be an easy transition for him, though. He seems like a Cali guy too.
Yeah, L.A. comes off like Jacksonville is kind of like got that vibe-ish a little bit. It's a beach. You go to the beach side. It's not much different than when he's on the beaches of L.A. So we'll see. Is he a career backup? Maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
I was always a Blake fan. I think he came in a difficult situation. It was really hard to right the ship.
Yeah,
really
I mean, and his situation. I mean, it sucked for him in 2018 just because they brought him in. I don't even think the Jaguars really expecting him to be Mr. All Pro. I mean, his contract didn't say that with a 3-year deal, but I mean, like they were kind of looking at him to drive and the offense in a sense. But then once your whole entire offensive line gets injured, when you have all your running backs are getting injured, mainly your main running back, and then you just don't have much of a wide receiver core. I mean, it just sucked. But I mean, we got a new quarterback now, Nick Foles, so he's a better quarterback than Blake. So I mean, it'll be fascinating to see the Jaguars in 2019 and with the AFC South, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be very competitive.
It's a really interesting division. I mean, you got Watson, the Texans, so I don't think they'll be as good as they were last year, just because they just seem like an aging team. And
the Texans?
Yeah, the
Agreed.
Texans. The Texans just seem like an aging team, even though they do have a great quarterback in Deshaun Watson. They're a team that also deals with their own injury concerns as well. Is Will Fuller on the team still?
Will Fuller? That's a good question. I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, because he's getting injured every year, and they had to bring in Demaryius Thomas. I think they traded like a 4th or 5th round pick for him. Like he's on the Patriots now.
So a couple people asked what happened to Grant. Can't forget Corey Grant. Corey Grant has an injury that is usually the death wish for running backs with the Liz Frank injury, which is a fracture on the bottom of your foot. And considering it's on his right foot, which is his planting foot, or obviously he could be a plant, but he is a dominant right person, and it's something that's very difficult to come out on. So
yeah,
will he come back? Possibly. It's not out of the question, but he was a guy that relied on speed, and that's definitely one of those injuries that take away your speed. So
give a couple shots here. Shout out to Jerry Brown. I think he's the leader of a Facebook group or something like that. He's always posting my videos in his group. Shout out to him, man. Reynaldo, what is up? AJ Harris, what's good, man? Mr. Bucks Nation, we got a Buccaneers YouTuber up in the building. What's going on, man? Jimmy Popcorn, Cleveland versus Jacks in the AFC Championship game. Boy, if you would have said that 4 years ago, you would have thought, like, what kind of bizarre world am I in?
Oh God. That's that Twilight Zone shit right there.
But that'd be good, man. I'm picking the Jaguars to win that one. We're going all the way. Oh man, that'd be cool. I just want to win one Super Bowl in my lifetime.
I was so close. When we were in the AFC title game, I was looking up tickets and seeing how much. What am I gonna have to pull a second mortgage on my home on to make this happen? Because I wouldn't miss it. And I still regret not going to Pittsburgh. I regret not going to New England. I should have gone to either of them. I'm disappointed I didn't. So.
See, it would have been tough that year just because the Super Bowl was in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And it's like, I hate the cold. Last year would have been easier in Atlanta because you could just drove there.
Oh yeah, no, that would have been great. I was hoping that it would have been like us versus like an obscure team, because if it was like us versus like the Vikings, for example, I think that would have been a cheaper Super Bowl because neither team is like a massive market, and it would have been a decent. I mean, it was gonna be balls cold, so it'd just be Jacksonville and Vikings fans. So I mean, I thought that would have been fun. Well, we'll get there one day, maybe before I'm dead.
Also, quick shout out to Charlie. I think she works for like First Coast News or something like that. So
cool. Shout
out to her watching the videos. But yeah, it's Minnesota. I do bad in cold weather. I mean, it'd be cool to have gone to. Man, that would have been cool to go to Pittsburgh. But it's tough being in enemy territory. Because I remember going to the Chiefs game this year, and man, like that game sucked.
Oh, I went to the Jets game a couple of years ago. Actually, it was it was my bachelor party. It was really just me and my best friend and my cousin, and we went to the Jags-Jets game, and I'm pretty sure almost everybody fought us because even though we sucked and we ended up losing that game, everyone wanted to fight us because, well, we were also drunk and running our mouth, so there is a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But Jets fans are not the nicest people in the world. They're angry people.
Yeah, that's I remember, dude, I almost fought somebody come out of the Giants game after we won because I went to MetLife for the Giants game, and then I was walking by, I was like saying to the Giants fan, "Thank you guys all for coming. Thank you for coming." This one guy was like, "Fuck you, man." He was like coming at me, and I don't know.
Yep, that's very New York like. And I will say this, MetLife is a nice stadium. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool stadium. Mm-hmm. It's just weird though for Jets fans, just because it doesn't really feel like their home field because you have the Giants practice field out there, and it'd just be weird sharing a stadium with your rival, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, a little bit, yeah. That's a little unusual.
Yeah,
I would personally not, but I would not personally want to have another team in my stadium, and that's logistically it's so difficult to kind of like make sure the scheduling is always that right way and have to change out all the signage, and I don't know why they do it but whatever.
And it's weird because they're not in New York, they're out in New Jersey, and like Newark's in the middle of like nowhere. Like around MetLife, there's nothing out there.
You go to that's at least I do appreciate that about the Jacksonville Stadium because at least there's a couple places you can go after, and Jacksonville's it's a wide city, but it's kind of condensed in that area, so you can get to a couple breweries and bars and stuff. It's like a 40-minute drive from that stadium to go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's very desolate.
Yeah, I know the Jags.
Considering it's next to New York City.
I know the Jags are working on putting more around the stadium because, there's really, when you compare it to other cities, a lot of places are right in downtown of their city, and there's just so much more to do.
That's why the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta was a lot of fun.
Dude, I want to go there this year, but what sucks is it's literally the Sunday before Christmas, so it's going to be... Yeah, and it's going to be hard to get off just because, at my work, all the older people, the more legacy people are going to be able to get that Monday off, and then... I would have liked it to be, October 18th, some random day where I could easily get a Monday off.
Yeah.
But that's good. That's a cool stadium. I really want to go there, especially, the Jags, they only play there once every 8 years, so.
Captain Trips is a Gators-Titans fan. You're almost everything I hate.
Wow, Gators and Titans fans.
How do you live with yourself?
I don't know.
That's, beat up with bleach, which, shower with bleach.
We'll see the Jaguars. Jags are short for Jaguars. What's short for Titans?
Tits.
Titties.
The tits.
Phonics says if the Jags went to the Super Bowl this year, it would be basically a home game because it's in Miami, only a couple hours south. Is it, dude? What, every third year it's in Miami? It seems like
it does. We rotate with Miami pretty often, and I don't remember when was the last time we played the Bucks?
4 years ago.
It was 4 years ago.
Yeah, NFC every 4 years. So. And that was a game that I remember a bunch of Bold City Brigade people went out to Tampa for that.
Yeah,
and
I do
it
remember
was
that.
a game we completely blew. Bob Babbage was just did terrible at defense coordinator, and it was just it was in our dark years. What was that? 2015.
Yeah, that was
the 5-11 year.
Yeah,
not good, man. Not good.
Get mixed together.
Yeah. Well, no, NFC, and that's one thing that's tough, man. It's hard to project the NFC South this year. You would think that the Saints will be good. The Bucks, they should be better just because of the coaching staff.
You would think so. They're a very talented team.
And Bruce Arians is a really good coach. You saw when he left the Cardinals literally went down to the worst team in the NFL, getting number 1 overall
in 1 year.
Yeah, and they got they have Todd Bowles out there. They have Byron Leftwich at OC. So
I'm stoked for Byron Leftwich.
Yeah, he'll be a head coach one day.
I wouldn't mind if one day he was our head coach.
That'd be kind of wild.
Bring him back to Jacksonville. Big Leftwich. I still have my Leftwich jersey. I'd wear it to games. I'd rep him.
Yeah, I probably have it somewhere stashed away. He just always said that weird winding.
The Tim Tebow wind up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna dip it, and then.
But he was even worse than it looked like a clock, man.
Yeah.
Like it was just the whole entire windmill.
So for anybody watching, if you want really good footage to watch, look up, if you haven't seen it before, Byron Leftwich, the Marshall game, where he broke his leg. Just Google that. Byron Leftwich, broken leg, Marshall.
He does a drive with a broken leg?
Yeah, it's a phenomenal thing to watch. It really is. It's the fact that he's just bombing the ball 20, 30-yard hits, and then his offensive linemen are just carrying him right down the field. It's one of those.
I gotta look that up.
I
remember seeing video. I remember seeing videos of the guys carrying him, but I never actually seen that drive.
Mm-hmm. And it's also pretty cool. I don't remember if I don't think that was the ECU game, but I believe that season he also played Derek Garrard at ECU.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I think that,
they were both drafted the same year, and that's always pretty interesting.
Yeah, like it's
ties of college football.
Oh, the quarterback memories. Hopefully Foles can take over and be the best one in history.
UCF should have taken the 2-for-1 with Florida. Don't even get me started on that, dude.
Yeah, we're not going to get started on that.
That'll get me.
That'll just turn into a rant.
It's going to be a long rant too. I'm not going to do that whole shenanigans. Yeah. First off, it wasn't even a 2-for-1. It was a 2-for-01.
Yeah, it would have been neutral.
It would have been neutral site.
It would have been
complete
downtown.
Crap. Shish with that. We're talking about professional football.
But we've been live for 50 minutes. We'll probably go for another 10 minutes. Get the hour segment in. It's always fun talking some football.
Oh, absolutely.
Steven says, I just stopped in, update on Foles once again so I can catch up. I'm an Eagles fan following Foles' career. Yeah, I picked up a lot of Eagles subscribers because
they love him.
They've all adopted Jaguars as their second team. But I mean, he's been looking good. I mean, from all accounts, I wouldn't think that they'd come out saying that he's looking bad. But I mean, he's throwing spirals, as we've all heard. He's a lot of the players are rallying around him. Most notably, I've seen Chris Conley talk about him, D.D. Westbrook, Fournette, the new John DeFilippo really likes him. So I mean, he's all we've really wanted to hear so far. So
I think he's the consummate professional. He's come in, he's said all the right things. You know, he's trying to bring teammates in and be kind of that, like, he's trying to be the team dad. Like, he's trying to, I'm the responsible one. It's all on me. He's taken that role, and it's great. And it's really cool to see that he's doing that, like, mentorship, and it's rubbing off. And that's why those players are talking very highly of him in their press conferences. So we'll see if how that translates. But I really do like what he's doing. I mean, I think I'm excited only because of that it's consistency is what we need, and I think that this is he needs to come in and right the ship. And if we can get to like at least 9-7, 10-6, like, have a solid year, I think I would be very, very happy with that for a first year.
Yeah, and it's actually going to be a pretty fun preseason, especially as opposed to last year, just because, last year I had quarterbacks like Bortles, who we all knew. You had Cody Kessler, and after that, I mean, this year we're going to be able to see Foles, and once Foles goes out, we're going to be able to see what Gardner Minshew has. So, just a quarterback is it's going to be a lot of fun.
A lot of interesting quarterback play out in Jacksonville.
Bob Money says, you guys pretty much took Eagles starting quarterback. Yeah, a lot of Eagles fans were kind of split on it, but I mean, they had to have gone with Carson Wentz. I mean,
Carson Wentz he's a kid. He was a borderline MVP candidate before he got hurt.
Yeah,
you don't just give up on a kid like that quickly. I think that Carson Wentz is going to be great for them for the next. I really do think he's going to be a great quarterback for the next 10 years.
Yeah,
minimum. As long as he can stay healthy.
He's got to make it to the playoffs, man. He's over 2 on that.
He's a good quarterback, so I wouldn't be too upset about that. I mean, Foles did an amazing thing. It was magical. Everything was lined up. I mean, that city's been starved for a Super Bowl for so long, and they finally got it in such a great story. I think that's why everyone's followed him here.
Took down the evil empire.
Yeah, they beat the Patriots, and they did it with the backup who came in and played phenomenally, and he did such great things 6 years prior. So I would love to see that, but
Jason Marno says, "Hello, UCF Jaguar and everyone. Let's get this live video to 100 likes." Yeah, man. If you guys haven't hit the like button, let's see how many people we even have in here. I'm really monitoring that.
Punch that button.
We have 106 people in here. So if everyone drops that like, we're gonna get there. Let's see. Let me pull this up. Let's see how many we got. Okay, it earns a like from me, so that's 43 likes. Let's get this up. All right. So Kim Raider says Wentz is so not. That's why I'm here in a Jax forum. Yeah, we're the Jax forum for you. Believers Talk says Jax interested in Kyle Rudolph train. I've been hearing that stuff more from just fans, and like I don't think anything's like any sources from Adam Schefter saying that Jags are interested in Rudolph. It's just they go out and draft Irv Smith Jr. and then it just kind of makes sense for them to maybe try to get something out of him. But yeah, Paul Lewis is asking, can I send money to buy something that 91 can sign and have it sent back? Yeah, if you go on my Twitter, or no, go to my YouTube and pull up the community tab, like right there. You'll see more details about how to get Yannick Ngakwe's autograph. So, yeah, so I'll actually be going. I'm gonna try to get an interview with him. I'll be meeting up with my buddy who's having him at his place for a private signing.
Very cool.
Like how I got Didi. So I'm gonna see if he can. If I get
you something too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I got a little. Here you go. There's a little box of something.
Let's do it. But yeah, it's hopefully I can get it. That'd be sick to get an interview with him.
No, it would be. That'd be. I mean, I think he'd be a good interview. I really do.
Yeah.
I think he's a great character. I love his personality. So that's pretty exciting.
I'm just trying to be like, yo, can I get like a 3-minute interview real quick? Be like, yeah, man, focus, dedication. Like his Twitter timeline. Like,
it's great. It's great. He could be a franchise player for us for the next 10 years, and he's the one thing. I mean, I really do think they're going to drag out everything with Ramsey. I think you need to get Ngakoue signed right now. I really do think you need to do it before the season. You can't let that drag out. You can't let him become a $150 million contract, because if he goes out this year and has 14.5 sacks, you're not getting him for anything less than those two. You got the one player in Dallas that just signed for like $130 million.
Yeah, the Lawrence. I think
we have Lawrence, and who was the other player that just signed for big money? Was it the kid from?
Oh yeah, the Earl Clark.
Yeah, Clark. Yeah, the guy that was playing for Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle.
So you got two. Those set the bar, and Ngakoue is going to want more. I mean, he's on the same level of you let him get another good year. It's going to be hard. I think you need to get them locked up now, and I think that the fact that they're not doing it is kind of troubling.
Yeah, and a quick shout out to We Fly High, a.k.a. Jake Ronells, for the $2 holla. Really appreciate that, man. He says, Foles is a beast. Hey, man, I'm hoping that Foles is going to play as good for us as Eagles fans are telling us he will. So, yeah, that's what I'm hoping. But, yeah, with Yannick, like, I think they're going to sign him. It's just a matter of when. I don't think that – like, I think that he has a perfect Tom Coughlin type of attitude.
Yeah, I do too.
Like, he's a Tom Coughlin type of dude. And he plays a premier position. He's defensive end. He's able to get sacks, pressures, strip sacks. Like, he causes interceptions. So, I mean, like, we've been paying all these guys, Malik Jacksons, all these guys, Calais Campbell's from other teams. Time to sign our homegrown talent, because we haven't really been able to do that enough.
I think it's a good question. How will they play the tight end lineup?
Yeah,
what do you think?
I mean, I think Jeff Swain will be the tight end number 1 to start off, just because I think our new rookie Josh Oliver, I think he has a lot to work on. Especially, he comes from a small school. Mm-hmm. He's transitioning over to the NFL level, which, I mean, if you're looking at his film, like, all his games are the small stadiums. They got the little track around it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It looks like you're kind of watching high school. But, yeah, I think those are our guys. And then also we'll have guys like James O'Shaughnessy make the team and stuff like that. But
don't sleep on O'Shaughnessy. I like him. I always have. I think he can be a solid player.
Quick shout out to Josu Rivera. I hope you're saying your name right. He says, UCF Jag, your channel has come a long way. Big fan. Yeah, man. 2 years. I've got over 1 million video views. I'm like over 6,000 subscribers.
Yeah, you're coming.
Had players up on here. It's fun, man. I mean, I'm the face of Jaguars YouTube. It's pretty awesome.
I mean, it is awesome when you can. I mean, it's a niche market, but you own it. So
I mean, you saw someone recognize me at a Magic game.
I did. Oh yeah, we were at so here's a great story. We're at a Magic game and we're leaving, and we lost that game, right?
Yeah, it was game 3.
It was game 3. We lost, and we're just walking from downtown, and suddenly these guys walk up and they're like, "Let's UCF Jag." They walk over, and it's like these 4 guys that surround him. I mean, my buddies are like, "What the fuck?" I mean, that's awesome. Like, I was proud of you. I was getting ready to start tweeting, but like, UCF Jag over here, freaking getting recognized in the streets of Orlando. So I was stoked for you. It was very cool.
Yeah, usually
you get that looks already.
Usually it's easy to get recognized at Jags games just because everyone always recognizes me there. But it's just funny at a Magic game. It's just like so out of nowhere. But Captain Trips gave me a $2 holla. He says, "How do you see the AFC South playing out?"
Okay, that's a good question.
I'm gonna take the Jaguars out of it because I think the Jags are gonna win it. But I think that's a little bit biased, maybe. I don't know.
Just a little bit. I think. Okay, I'm gonna go unbiased. I'm gonna say I think the Colts are gonna end up winning it. Cause I think they're just loaded. The receivers that they've acquired, and that I am, as an offensive line guy and a guy who is obsessed with offensive line play, I think Quentin Nelson is like my favorite player of all time, borderline. I can watch that video of him rounding the corner on that freaking pole, screaming as he just collides and creates like a freaking it's like a Godzilla movie, just like levels people. So I love Quentin Nelson.
He's just yelling all the time.
So I think the Colts. I think Jacksonville will take the second in the division. And I would actually, if I'm going to see it play out, I think it'll be Titans. I think it'll be Colts, us. Titans, and I think the Texans are going to take a huge step backwards. I think, like you said, I think the age of a lot of those players are going to catch up to them, and they're going to have a down season, a pretty big down season. I don't think anybody in this. I don't think like they'll be like a 2-3-4 win team. I can see like the Colts winning 12 games, us winning 10, the Titans being like an 8-8, 9-17, and the Texans being like a 7-9 team, and everyone kind of splits the division up a little bit. I don't think anyone's going to get swept in the division personally. I think there'll be a lot of split series between everybody.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, any team has a chance to be number one. I mean, you can't really say that about many divisions out in the NFL. Like, it's so wide open, the AFC South, which is so fascinating, but I'd probably agree with your rankings. I mean, the Colts, they got the best offensive line. I mean, they got the best quarterback, and just with that combo, they finished off so hot. I mean, that's gonna be hard to beat. But which defense is gonna prevail the most? I would say probably the Jaguars have the best defense if I'm looking at it like that.
Close.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And I always say this. We were having that draft talk. We did that live stream. We were talking about our draft picks and everything. And I was hoping for T.J. Hawkinson. And I just remember at my initial reaction when we got Josh Allen was one of kind of like somewhat disappointment, only because like I was sold on offensive playmaker. I really wanted that. But after like a week of just sitting back and reflecting and watching film, I am so excited that we have Josh Allen.
Yeah, he's wild, man.
Him with Ngakoue. And I mean, just picture this. You have him and Ngakoue screaming off the edge with Calais Campbell kicked inside. And then you whether it's Aubrey or
Marcel Darius, or even Taven Bryan.
Yeah, I would even maybe put Bryant like in at the one, and then you just got 4 pure pass rushers. And you have them screaming after the quarterback. Yeah. Good freaking luck. Yeah. There's no way you're getting rid of that. That's either a pick or just curl into a ball and just accept it. Just let your fate happen. Like it's gonna be awesome to watch that.
Yeah, really Josh Allen's a mean dude, man. I'm so pumped about him. I mean, I see him. One thing that I thought was so crazy, I forget which game it was, but he had this one rush. I think it was in the final game, the game against Penn State. Like, he overran the guy, the quarterback, and then quick, like, he stops like 2 steps after, turns around and gets him. Like, he didn't run himself out of it. I'll probably have to do a film review on him sometime so I can show people.
His film is so much fun to watch. And I listened to an interview of him, and what I really love is his character.
Yeah.
The love he has for his kid is straight up adorable. Like, he is just, as ferocious as he is on the field and as competitive he is as a man, to see that he's just a guy of super high character, to hear his story about, like, he was the smelly kid and, like, he had to go home because he didn't have water to take showers, and he comes from such humble beginnings to where he is today. It makes it really hard not to root for that guy. I mean, he could be a complete monster. I think he's going to be a monster for us, and between him and Ngakoue and Campbell, we might have 3 people with double-digit sacks this year.
Yeah,
I think that'd be the first time in our franchise history that would ever happen.
And I definitely got a cool reaction video because I went to the Jags, the Daly's place, and did it, and I recorded the whole thing. It was so much fun. Give a few shout-outs. Ember says, I'm a Jags fan from Missouri, and I'm like the only one out here, but I watch your vids as soon as I get a notification. Appreciate that. Jason says, a lot of people have the Jags fighting for third with the Titans. I think our team will do better than that. I feel that. What's up, Keith? What's going on? Says, throwback Jags logo on a fitted hat. They like that. Andrew says, come on, UCF Jag wants 100 likes, needs 22 more. Smash that like button, everybody. What's called? The Movie Critic donated $2. Did you see Die Hard yet? If not, I'm going to kill you, JK.
Have you never seen Die Hard?
I've never seen Die Hard. It's not on Netflix. I didn't see it on Netflix. I actually looked for it today.
Just go to Walmart. That's like $5 in the Blu-ray section.
You think I have $5?
I'll give you $5. I'll give you the movie. I'll let you watch the movie.
Oh, there's $5.
There you go. You just got $5. There's no excuse for you not to go buy Die Hard tomorrow and just go watch it. It's really good. It is a good movie.
But shout out to Movie Critic. He has an awesome channel reviewing movies and stuff like that. I haven't seen enough movies. I think I'm going to start watching. My next mission is to start watching Game of Thrones. I haven't seen that yet. But shout out to...
Wait, what?
Yeah, I said it. Never
do
seen
you
Game
have
of Thrones.
I'll give you access to HBO if you want.
Dude, I'm down.
You start watching it immediately.
Hell yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude.
We'll read this, guys. Why does $5 donation? Why does one of my dogs always have to fall asleep near the wheels of my PC chair when I'm watching your streams? Yelp, go Jags. Don't leave. If you don't leave, they're not going to yell.
Exactly.
Trust me, I got my dog down here straight vibing.
Here, he's vibing. He's lit. Well, he isn't as lit as he was before.
Is that your dog in your profile picture? Looks like a boxer. I like it.
Or a bulldog. Like
Bulldog, boxer. Yeah, something with a scrunchy face. Shout out to Bosco Kudrow with a $4.99 donation.
That's very specific.
Really, I think they have the. I don't know when you super chat it, because a lot of people do the 99-cent thing at the end. So gotcha. I don't know if that's like if it's a pre-filled thing or.
So Captain Trips finally said something I agree with, that Die Hard is indeed a Christmas movie.
I know. I always hear it's like a debate about.
There's no debate. It is a Christmas.
That's
movie.
the main thing I hear about Die Hard is like the debate, the Christmas movie debate.
That's great.
What did I watched today? I watched Good Will Hunting. It's a good movie.
It's a great movie.
I enjoyed that.
Excellent movie.
I enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
Do I get an A for selection on that?
That's a good. I'll give you an A- for that selection. It's
A-.
It's a very good movie.
But
Some good lines from that movie too.
My next feat is to start watching Game of Thrones, because I was gonna wait till the season ended once all the conversation stopped. Because every time I went on,
spoiled for you. Everything is spoiled for you. You've seen all of the stuff.
Well, dude. Well, the thing is, I see people talking about it, but I don't know what they're talking about.
That's very true.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like I've been around people that have full-on Game of Thrones conversations, and I'll be listening to it, but
you're just like,
right now I couldn't tell you anything that they said.
So you're gonna hear it is a very good show. I've watched the show since day one. I've read 3 of the 5 books. My wife has read all of the books. So I mean they came up with a really cool graphic novel. There's a lot of really good stuff, but it's a good show. Don't let people deter you with that crap of, oh my god, it was so bad. It was a good show. Just watch it. Yeah. I would argue it's one of the best shows.
Were you disappointed by the last season?
I was not at all. People were dramatic, and I don't care what they have to say. It was a good show. Was the final season as good as the other ones? No, but there's very few shows that have a phenomenal. People don't want it to end. And they're never happy.
Yeah, there's never a good ending.
No one's ever going to be happy with how it ends, because there's so many people that would want it one way and not another. People were pissed how The Sopranos ended. They were pissed how Lost ended. They were pissed at how I Met Your Mother ended. Like, there's so many shows people get.
You gotta watch Breaking Bad though, man.
I haven't watched Breaking Bad.
You can't give me shit and not. It's a good show. You gotta watch it.
I know. I've seen episodes of it in kind of spurts, but no, that should be a good show. I need to watch it.
Yeah, but yeah, that's.
See, actually, I was about to say, Nick Howard said it. He kills a guy and says ho ho ho. That's very true. That's what makes it a Christmas movie. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, there
you go. It's a Christmas movie.
Andrew says, need 15 more likes, please, for UCO Jaguar. Let's get this to 15 likes. This is sign language for 15. So
let's go.
15 likes.
So this right here, this guy says a good question. Which rookie quarterback will impact the best this season? From Benjamin Brees.
There's not many to choose from this year.
And then it was deleted. Okay.
Oh no.
Anyway.
But yeah, I think that the best. I love Kyler Murray. I think he's the best one out there, but it's also situational. You know what I mean? Like.
He was really the only one that came into a situation where he's going to have like an automatic starting role.
Yeah.
I can't think of. I mean, Drew Lock is probably going to back up Joe Flacco for a little while. Who else came out that was?
Well, there was Dwayne Haskins, obviously.
Haskins. I don't think he's going to start now.
Our boy Daniel Jones. That was pretty funny.
I love watching Giants Daniel Jones reaction videos.
Dude, I know. I have a couple of YouTube friends that just like freaked out, and it was funny because like there's these YouTubers Entertainer Talking Sports and Bad Dog, and they were like, Josh Allen's on the board. We gotta get Josh Allen. He's up there, and they were so mad when they drafted Daniel Jones, and they got even madder once the Jaguars drafted Josh Allen. They're like, of course they get him. Of course they get him. Like they're just all like so mad they just let him fall to number 7.
It makes me so happy. Oh, that's great.
It's hilarious. Dane just says the problem, nobody wants it to end, and many people invested characters to it. Yeah,
exactly. 100%. That's exactly it.
Yeah, it's always the endings of shows are always just so bittersweet. I mean,
The Wire is the best HBO show. The Wire. Have you ever seen The Wire?
No.
That's a phenomenal show as well. HBO has some great shows across the board.
Yeah.
You ever just sit back? That's why I said, I'll give you the passcode. You can just go through HBO Demand, and you'll get engrossed on some pretty great.
Dude,
television.
I will definitely. I'll watch the first episode of Game of Thrones tonight.
Holler! I got you. So the President Foles. Is it pretty much a lock for Fournette to achieve the rushing title? Is it a lock?
Oh, no, definitely not.
No, I mean, you got to think about the type. You got Alvin Kamara, who's going to be competing for the rushing title. Saquon Barkley.
I think he's the best running back in the league right now.
There's some Todd Gurley. Is he a lock? Absolutely not. He's nowhere close to being a lock for a
maybe rushing title for the Jaguars.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe you're leading rusher on the Jaguars.
I think he can definitely break like 1,300 yards for Jackson. That'd be wonderful, but I don't think he's. No, I don't think he's going to be doing anything.
He just got to stay healthy. I mean, even in like 2017, he was getting like 3.4 yards per carry, but he still got to over 1,000 yards.
I think that was forced as hard as possible.
I know. They were just...
Do everything we can. We have to justify this pick.
I know.
Get 1,000 yards.
I mean, they ran the crap out of them, and I mean, without Fournette, we're not in a playoff team.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he had some really good games. Like even I rewatched the Steelers game the other day just because I was feeling a little nostalgic, and
I saw that.
Good times.
My god, there's so many good. I can sit back and watch that Steelers game with David Garrard's 4th down run all day.
Dude, yeah,
so good. Let's see what else.
Nick Bradford, fast fact, since 2013, the only quarterback to start for the Eagles in the postseason was Nick Foles.
That's a good fun fact. That's
a
an
very
excellent
fun fact.
It's a
fun
good
fact
one.
from Bradford, who used to be playing for the Eagles.
Did he?
Sam Bradford.
Oh,
remember they traded Nick Foles for Sam Bradford.
That makes sense.
But this is
yeah.
Nick Bradford.
That's what I was
I don't know if
confused
there's any relation.
No, I doubt it.
Jerry Brown doesn't think Fournette's getting the rushing title.
Who's winning the AFC North? I think I said that earlier. I think it's the Browns.
Yeah, Browns are favorite. If not Browns, I'd have to go with Steelers just because.
I would go with the Ravens. If I think the Steelers might be 3rd in the division when it's all said and done.
Yeah. Blood says people just suddenly forgot about David Johnson. What's your opinion on David Johnson, UCF? Well, he got injured and out for the year in 2017, and what did he do in 2018? Did he do anything?
No.
I didn't even hear about him.
But he didn't have an offensive line. I think the only receiver they really had was, Larry Fitzgerald, who's in the twilight of everything. I feel bad for him because he was so close to Super Bowl title.
And he's coming back. He's coming back another
year. Murray's going to need it. But yeah, I think David Johnson is a phenomenal player, and I think with the if he has some blocking, he can be great again.
Yeah,
I think it takes usually a year. I think Adrian Peterson's really the only running back to ever get a serious injury like the way David Johnson did, and then bump back immediately the year after. It usually takes some time to get into it again. So,
dude, AP was like a beast coming back from injury.
Ran for 2,000 yards after tearing his knee. So.
But yeah, I'm not too sure because I just know last year when I'm playing fantasy, I'll never remember playing against him or.
No, I don't remember it either.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I think my wife took him 1st overall too.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did horrible in fantasy this year because I drafted Fournette in the 1st round of both of my leagues.
Oh, which by the way, I'm going to invite you this year to a legacy because there's going to be some swapping of a couple people. We have a really cool 10-team league.
Hell yeah!
And it's a legacy league, so we're going to be doing trying to keep picks moving on, and we're going to have a live draft. We're going to try to get everyone in Orlando, maybe go to Wekiva Springs, have the nice board.
So is it like a keepers league? Or?
Yeah, we want to make.
Oh, that'd be sick! I've always wanted to do something like that.
And so I want to do that and keep that going for years to come. So I got a solid 8 people that want it. I want to bring 2 more people in. So
because
I've got an official invite to that.
Yeah, because I've got there's one league I'm in. We've been doing it together for 3-4 years. So it's always fun to have the same. Same group
continuity. You guys can talk shit to each other, and it's a nice buy-in. So it's actually a worthwhile pot. Keeps everybody interested.
What's the pot? What's the throwdown?
I think last year's throwdown was 150.
Nice.
And it was the winner got 750, and so it was a nice little break off. But we're hoping to bump it up a little bit to try to get the winner to get to 1,000.
Yeah,
so
because
that way make it worthwhile.
Yeah, because in my league we did it where we'd all throw down $100, but the highest point scorer would get $20 each week.
Yes.
So it's different cool incentives if your team sucks, but you also go off one week.
Yeah, because it keeps you interested. Because at least you can go off and maybe get something. So we have it so we're gonna do it so you get a little bit. We have a side pot that goes to the most points
scored
every week.
We're
gonna have it'll be a 3rd place buyout, a 2nd place buyout, a 1st place buyout, and then there's gonna be another buyout for if you have the most points overall for the whole year.
Yeah.
So you get this tiny weekly pot of $5-10. If you score the most points, even if you're not in the top 3, you still get something. And then, all those things can culminate into, if you're the 1st place guy that had the most points and scored the most every week, then you're going to be, rolling in it. So we want to make it, really fun and make that happen. That'd be a lot of fun.
Dude, fantasy's a lot of fun. Especially when you're good. But last year I was, so bad. And then I went and tried to play FanDuel. I wasn't good at that. 2018 was not my fantasy year.
No.
Just like it wasn't the Jaguars year.
I've had 2 good fantasy years. I had one fantasy year a couple of years ago in my coach's league where I lost in the game. If you remember this, it was a game where, oh my God, he was a running back who used to play for the Denver Broncos. I think he also played for the Baltimore Ravens.
Was it Sean Marino?
No. C.J. Anderson.
C.J. Anderson, okay.
It was a game where C.J. Anderson scored a touchdown and then it was called back. And he scored another one, it was called back again. He scored 2 or 3 times and within 4 downs, and it kept getting called back. So I kept taking the lead in the championship game and then losing, and taking the lead and then losing. I ended up losing the whole game, and so I lost the title. And the only time I ever did anything is that year that LaDainian Tomlinson had like set the record for most touchdowns ever, with like 28 rushing touchdowns or something like that, and I had him. And I won the title that year, and that was like in like 2006 or something like that.
I remember one time, like I think it was one like really significant fantasy game I was in, where I was like watching it with my roommate. It was a Monday night game, and he had Le'Veon Bell, and then like literally the Steelers were at in like it was like 3 seconds left in the game. They're at like a 4th and like 1 from the goal line, and then like it was literally Le'Veon Bell with a direct stab. I'm like, and like literally my situation was the same exact way as the Steelers situation. Like if Le'Veon Bell scores, then the Steelers win and I lose, or if he doesn't score, then the Steelers lose, and then I'm sitting here, I was like, come on, and then like he scores, and I'm like, I just got so pissed. Like
I would be,
because like you look at my heart's like when you're. That's one thing that's great about fantasy. It can make a game like the Steelers versus Ravens all of a sudden super interesting to you, and like you're super invested just because you have a player playing, as opposed to usually I'm passing out in the third quarter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm trying to see what else we got here.
Someone was saying, Samuel says, "Hey guys, is it true the Jags might be wearing throwback jerseys this year?"
That's a rumor.
Yeah, because the rumors started from this. I don't want to bash them or anything, but there's like full press Jaguar or something like that. They just followed me the other day.
No, yeah, that's Chris and our boy Zach Goodell used to be. He was.
Well, no, that's
Locked On Jaguars. Never mind, you're right.
Yeah, that's Locked On Jaguars. This one's
Full Press. I think I follow them on Twitter as well.
Yeah,
so.
they just followed me the other day. So Full Press Jaguars. So they tweeted out they're a Twitter page with 922 followers. Like I don't know, I don't know how official that is or where they're hearing it from, but. The Jaguars, it's like the 100th year of the NFL or something like that. The Jaguars are in their 25th 25th season. But the way the NFL uniform rules are really weird. Like they can't change the color of their helmet. They have to wear the same helmet all year. So this wouldn't have been possible in like the 2013 to 2017 era. But now the Jaguars, they have the all black. They can have the ability just to change the logo on it. But I don't know what the rules are when it comes to actually being allowed to have throwback uniforms.
Well, I mean, like when hold on, I'm trying to think.
Because I think you're allowed 3 uniforms, like
yes.
one home, one away, and one alternate.
You are allowed to do that, and you can wear the alternate a certain amount of times per year.
But can you have a 4th uniform?
Well, yeah, because when you look at what other teams do, like the Steelers have, they have the black jersey, they have a white jersey, they have a yellow jersey, they have a bumblebee jersey. Then you look at the Jets. The Jets had, a couple of different alternates, and they had the old school blue and gold one that goes with their green and their white, and there's a bunch of different combos. So I believe you can have a throwback jersey, because if you also recall, we had a black, a teal, a white, and then we also had the gold ones.
Yeah.
Because those gold ones were meant to be the the color rush jersey.
Yeah, I think that was I think they just allowed. They were around okay, we can have a 4th one because they're really trying to promote that.
Yeah.
On Thursday night. I don't know the exact uniform rules, but I know the NFL over the last few years has become very strict on it. You're not even allowed. The Browns right now are desperately wanting to change their uniforms, but they can't change it for another 2 years.
Yeah, they lock you in for a minimum of 5.
And it's funny because they've done things where it's these were. Could you imagine if OBJ and Mayfield were wearing these uniforms right now? And
I saw that.
And it was basically a throwback to 2005, and it's wow, I never liked the Browns uniforms, but their uniforms now were so bad they made the old ones look clean. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's so funny.
You never know what you have until you lose it.
Andrew's trying to help us out, man. 7 more likes to 100. How many people are watching right now? Let's see.
So alternate jersey from 25. I mean, I would be completely okay with that original jersey, and I would buy the heck out of it if they sold it.
I know. There is a platform that is selling it, so that's going to be selling it. I forget which one it is, but
did I ever tell you about Fred Taylor? He signed one of my. I had a black alternate Fred Taylor jersey.
Oh hell yeah!
And I got him to sign it from Sports Authority over in Waterford. He was at Sports
No
Authority.
way, he was over there.
Yeah, I sprinted over. My wife actually went over there, and she was dating her at the time, and she stalled him. Was my husband's rushing here, is breaking every traffic law to get to meet you. And then he spoke to me for 5 or 6 minutes. Was a super nice guy.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
He's a really cool dude. So.
I remember when I was in 6th grade, I broke my arm. And then I was going back to Nemours to get my hard cast on, and I went over to the Jaguars practice because they were getting out. And then, like, he was the first person to sign my cast, Fred Taylor.
That's awesome.
Not many people can say Fred Taylor signed their cast.
No.
But
That's
yeah,
badass.
But yeah, Fred Taylor signed it. It was super cool. But yeah, I've met him a few different times. Like, you know, when I was younger, coming out of practice. Most recently, I saw him when he was reporting to the stadium because he does, like, you know, he does work at the stadium now when it comes to, like, analysis. Like, he sits with this other dude at this table and they do, like, halftime analysis, stuff like that. But yeah, he definitely stays connected. What's called Kendrick says, "You're my favorite YouTuber." Thank you.
Oh, that was quite nice. We have reached 100 likes.
We've reached 100 likes.
100
Let's go. Team effort. Couldn't have done. If he wasn't here, I'd have like 20, and it'd be a depressing situation.
Nah, you've had higher than that without me. You get the likes. The ladies like you.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, we're at what's called. It was a good night to stream tonight because there's no NBA
Yeah, it's
playoffs
just a nice
on.
like chill night.
Yeah, this is a chill talking football.
Donovan Darius, that's a good name to throw out. I loved Donovan when he played.
Dude,
He was a beast.
Donovan, like, I follow him on like Facebook and like Twitter. He's like a motivational speaker type of guy right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's out here. Chris says, "Go Jaguars from Grand Island, Nebraska. We've reached 100 likes. Awesome sauce video, UCF." Dang, there's Nebraska has islands apparently.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that
I
either.
thought it was just corn.
Yeah,
No
Nebraska.
offense.
And
No
Scott
offense,
Frost.
Chris.
And Scott Frost.
No,
Dude, they bring out like 80, 90,000 people to like their
they
spring
do.
games.
It's
Pretty
impressive.
wild.
Like, I mean, honest to God, like I respect that program because they're so iconic to college football. They're just great. I actually ran into freaking Nebraska fans when I was in the Czech Republic in Prague with my wife.
Oh, really?
I had a UCF jacket, and these two Nebraska people walk over, and one like taps my shoulder. He's like, "Hey, I just want to say, go Knights, and thank you for your coach." And I was like, that just ruined my dinner. And I was
Oh
like,
my god.
"Huh, thanks."
We got a good guy to replace him though.
Yeah, I'm hyped for Heupel. He's gonna be great for a while.
Hopefully he'll be on the team for longer.
I think so.
Luckily, Oklahoma has Lincoln Riley, but if Lincoln Riley were to make that jump to the NFL,
I don't think he will. I think he likes being the man. You know
I mean,
what
but I just think that if he has another year like that at Oklahoma, every NFL team is gonna want that young, handsome Sean McVay guy like they did last year.
There's too many of them in the NFL. NFL coaches are getting sexy.
I was
weird.
listening to part of my take, and they're like, you know, they have the Rooney Rule. They need to have like a curmudgeon rule where you interview a guy like Andy Reid or like Bill Belichick, some like disgusting guy.
Yep.
Like,
Can't have all the good-looking men. You get this old fat guy in here and talk to him, and he's got to be wearing like a button-up with a little hamburger meat showing, and just make sure he has snacky cakes in his hand at the same
curmudgeon
time.
rule. Like, remember the guy? I don't know if you watched the Hard Knocks when the Browns run up, but remember that
Yes.
offensive line coach?
Oh,
Dude, like, oh, that was a disgusting human being.
no, that was awesome. I respect that. I watched that video a million times, and it's still good today.
Dude, I
It was
wonder who's gonna be
amazing.
on Hard Knocks this year. I know, dude. Like, literally, the people who are eligible. There's really only one answer, and it's got to be the Raiders. Because there are teams like that are eligible, like the Bengals. How interesting are the Bengals right now? There's like the Lions, like gross.
When are we gonna? I know we had like the original one. Did you know that?
Yeah,
Before it was like Hard Knocks.
They
we
have
had
it all
one?
on YouTube, dude.
I know, but when can we get one? I want a Hard Knocks.
That'd be so cool. Just
It would be.
like this scene, hearing what they say in the, the coach's room, and like they get such inside footage, and it's just the best reality, TV for us.
100%. And I watched the Browns last year. It was
Dude, the Browns
amazing.
was fantastic
so
because
good.
you had the Callaway getting in trouble. You had Corey, what's his name? Corey Coleman, wanting to get traded.
Yep.
And they made that happen. It was freaking awesome. I
was
loved
great
Hard Knocks
television.
last year.
Great television, without a doubt.
And you had the Mayfield stuff coming in there and doing his thing. But let's see if we got some other. We'll probably be on here for another 5 minutes just talking Jags, you know what I'm saying? Brennan says, calling it now, the Jags are winning the Super Bowl and the Gators are winning the national championship. We'll see, man. Hey, if the Jaguars will win the Super Bowl, I'll take a Gators championship. If that's what the cost is.
I mean, I would take that cost just because I'd only let it happen one more time, but no one's beaten Clemson or Alabama.
Yeah,
I'm
let's be
sorry.
real. Clemson, Alabama,
They're just on another level. It's not fair. Something needs to happen. Like, they need to catch them doing something illegal and fucking, like, hitting them with scholarship, like, taking away scholarships and shutting down the program or something, because it's just not fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying, like, oh, you should change. Like, it is fair, but at the same time, it's like, it's almost
that's what I like about the NFL. Everyone's on such an even playing field. Even
That's interesting.
Even when you compare it to other like MLB, they're not on an even playing field because they have they don't have a payroll cap or whatever it is.
Have you seen the video of the Clemson facilities?
Is it pretty nice?
Oh my god, they have like a mini golf course, like right outside the video rooms and shit. It's ridiculous. It's beautiful. Like it makes me think my house is crap. I'd rather live in Clemson's dorms.
One thing that drove me nuts is like after Dabo won a national championship, they're like, "We're just little old Clemson. We shouldn't be winning the." I'm like, "What are you talking about? You're an ACC school. You have like storied league. You have like facilities."
And they've won a national title before, so it's not like they've never done it. Like they're a great program. So he was trying to downplay it. And I love Dabo. Dabo Swinney is one of the best coaches. He's one of those ones I'm surprised that isn't getting like try to be pulled to the NFL because he's just a great program builder compared to what Clemson was for so long and where he took him today. And he did it himself really over the last like 15 to 20 years is really impressive.
Yeah, even like they've been seeing him at like NBA games and stuff like that. Like apparently he's a big NBA fan, but hey man, you got to go anywhere you can to, get some of those recruits.
Let's see. Someone said Doug Marrone on the hot seat. I think so.
Yeah, I mean he's on.
I think all three of them are on the hot seat.
He's in a prove it year, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just hope it works out. I don't want to go 6-10 and have to worry about cleaning house and getting a new GM and head coach. It's not fun.
Someone asked what games are you going to go to this year?
I'm gonna try to go as many as I can, man.
That's an excellent question.
I'm gonna try to go as many as I can.
Yep.
I mean, I usually go to at least, the Jaguars have 7 home games a year. I try to go at least 5. There's usually a couple that I miss just because,
I went to 2 last year, and I was really disappointed.
Which games you go to?
I don't even remember, to be honest, because it was so, like...
You must have taken the L.
We took L's with both. I just remember being disappointed and burnt. And I was also very intoxicated for one of them. I don't even really remember what happened.
I remember the most pointless game I went to. Even when I was driving down from Orlando, I was like, why am I going to this game? It was the Redskins game. There was this, Cody Kessler was out there starting. Like, we had nothing going on. We lost to a 4th-string quarterback. Ugh, wasn't good.
No, it was awful. So I'm hoping to go to more. We got season tickets for Jacksonville. Got season tickets for
Oh, do you have season tickets for the Jags?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So.
Is this your first year with them?
No. My family's had season tickets since 2004.
Gotcha.
So we've had them forever. So.
Yeah, I'll try.
We're actually we got the family name on the wall.
Oh,
everything.
Yeah?
It's awesome.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Mean, up from Palm Coast.
Oh yeah. It was easy. It was an easy drive. So.
Yeah.
It sucks driving now. Like driving 2 hours to go to the game, especially after a loss. It's the worst drive on the planet. That desolate 95 after a bad home losses.
Yeah, I didn't grow up going to many Jaguar games, to be honest with you. I grew up going to mostly Florida games. My dad has Florida Gator season tickets, so I'd go to I literally went to all the Gator games, but I didn't really start going to Jags game regularly until I went to college.
Yeah.
Like when I went to college, I really went all in on the Jaguars, just because once I left Jacksonville, that was my connection back to my hometown.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah, then obviously, I wasn't as big of a Gator fan just because I'm not going to Florida.
That was the same. I always say I grew up and I loved the Gators growing up just because, I played high school football in or around Tim Tebow. I think we played Alan Neese when I was a sophomore and he was on the team. So I remember that whole thing, and that was a big reason why I rooted for Florida. I went to the game where Derek Harvey blocked the field goal against South Carolina that, was one of their, I think it was their 2006 national title year. I went to that football game. I went to a couple of bowl games for Gators. I went to the Michigan game that had Chad Henne and and Hart and Mario Manningham and
They played Tebow that year.
Yeah, it was Tebow's Heisman year.
Yeah.
His sophomore year. So I went to that game, and then when I went to UCF, I was 100% Knight.
Yeah, because
black and gold now.
Because I'm I go to UCF, I don't go to Florida.
Exactly, that's how it is. And I'm 100% dedicated to that. So.
And you have a lot less. I remember when I first went to UCF. UCF wasn't prominent at all in 2012.
No.
So you had people wearing Gator stuff, FSU
it was
stuff,
disappointing
but you don't really see that much at all anymore. Now that UCF's an actual, they built themselves into a pretty big,
they built a good
power.
Brand. Yeah, they're a good local brand. It feels like Orlando is now a UCF town as opposed to being a kind of up for grabs.
Orlando's hometown team, baby.
It is. It's awesome.
Hopefully we can get that second level, the upper deck. That'd be freaking sick.
That'd be really fun. See, someone else said, "Do you miss Alan Hearns?" In speaking of him when he was on the team, wow.
I miss the 1,000-yard seasons we had with them, but
yeah,
Like,
he's on the Cowboys now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I remember the last thing I saw when he snapped his ankle.
Yeah, he had a really bad injury. So.
I remember I was live streaming that game, and I actually watched a video of me because I clipped it and put it on Instagram, my reaction.
Ooh.
And it's just, I remember Joe Buck just being like, and he got the first down, but at what cost? And I'm like, oh,
God, yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's disgusting. But all right, we're probably gonna head out soon. Get some last minute shout outs. Shout out to David Bryan. Shout out to Jerry Brown, Nick Bradford, Sully Markham, Teal City Spots, Bloodborne, Jason Martineau, Tekken is my world. What's going on, man? Young and Sinju. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Be sure to follow Coach Boozes on Twitter.
Yes,
His
sir.
Links are right down below. And peace out, Jags fans. I'll catch you guys later.
Have a good one.